Tonight's session is all about how to choose the right condo for your next Calgary investment. And Tim and I really wanted to put this out there just because the Calgary market is on fire. When we say on fire, it's going up $10,000 per month right now. And we don't just want to tell you this, we actually want to show you what's going on, what type of condos are going up, and how much money you can make. And to be honest, to everybody out there, if you've been following us, I mean, Tim, we've been on Meetup for something like 8 or 9 years now.
Yeah.
About 3 years ago, while we were setting the room up tonight, about 3 years ago, we were telling people to stay away from condos. And the main reason, Tim, tell them the main reason why.
Yeah, what happened is Calgary had an oversupply. So as we came out of the financial meltdown, world financial meltdown in 2008, 2009, 2010, there had just been a huge amount of condo buildings that had gone up in the downtown area, plus around the city, and there was just too much supply. So those prices that people got into the new product with, they just dropped. And because the prices had dropped so far, there was so much supply, there was too many units for rent. Rents were down, condo prices were down, so it was just kind of like a disaster for whoever owned condos. But in the intervening years, we've seen that supply come back and we've seen the rental demand come back. So hence the reason we're putting this seminar on. We're seeing great results from renting out condos right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fellow on the call tonight, Julian. Congratulations, Julian, for buying your condo in the West End. I mean, what happened in Calgary for a number of years, this would have been from 2010, Tim, to 2019, 20.
Yep.
The condo market was really soft. They overbuilt, and by building, what happened is prices dropped. And just to speak to Julian's condo that he picked up about 2 weeks ago now, that once sold for $480, and we got into that condo, I believe it was for $420. So we know that those prices have already been there. So we know they'll come back, which we're going to get into later on, and especially why the condo market's going to thrive. Tim.
Today's market update, we're probably 3/4 of the way through April 2024 here. I want to go over some of these headlines that we picked up just today. So the Calgary Herald, Alberta's housing market is heating up. There are more signs it's going to continue to sizzle throughout 2024. From Global News, Calgary's housing market more competitive due to increasing migration and low inventory. We've been talking about this probably for a year and a half now, and it's finally being reported in the papers that we're getting into a supply crunch because of the inventory and immigration. The other headline we got here is Calgary's housing market sees price surge amid low inventory and high demand. That's Real Estate Magazine, and it's a quote from the Calgary Real Estate Board. The final one is Alberta and the rest of Canada are woefully unprepared for the coming immigration boom. That will directly translate into supply problems because of so many people coming in. And we've talked about this over and over and over in our seminars this year and a little bit last year, that this immigration is really going to affect real estate, and we're seeing it now. One thing, for example, Azad was in a house in Huntington Hills, and can you tell about the price of that one?
Yes, that came on it actually came on, was it $499?
No, it was $529.
That's right, it was $529 in Huntington Hills. There's a corner lot, and if you've seen our latest video, properties are on our Crew TV, properties are selling sight unseen. And so corner lots are in high demand right now. And this property in Huntington Hills, I mean, it was a piece of work. When I say piece of work, it needed a lot of work. It's been a rental property for a number of years, and it sold $100,000 over list price in Huntington Hills on a busy road, on a busy corner. That's 64th, it runs at 64th, you come off 14th Street, you go down 64th, and all the cars are going down that road. And it's still sold $100K over. And Tim and I were just running the numbers on it. If a developer went in there and he was building townhouses or a fourplex, basically, you know what, he would still make money off that property at the end of the day. So that's not going to slow down at all. And reading these headlines that Tim pulled off here, what that's telling us is that there's no slowing down. There was an article in the Calgary Herald today that they were interviewing people out in BC if they were to move to another city. where would it be? And Calgary, 9 times out of 10 came up. So when you hear stuff like that, it's very, very exciting, but where are we going to put these people? That's the thing. I did look, and Tim's going to get to the next slide here. In the whole of Calgary, Tim's going to get into these numbers, but in the whole of Calgary, across from condos and townhouses, in the whole of Calgary, there's only 870 condos for sale right now that are active. So, you know, a city of, what is it now, 1.5,
1.4 million.
1.4 million, and you have 870 condos out there. It's not enough.
Yeah, and so this being our condo seminar, we decided to just drag the condo market stats up. And these are right hot off the press from the Calgary Real Estate Board today. If you look at that total sales comparing to last year, year to date, we're up 27% in condominiums. That's a crazy number to see that kind of increase, especially when in the last 2 years, the federal government or the Bank of Canada has been driving interest rates up to try and slow demand down. And you're not seeing that demand slow down in Calgary. It's a crazy number to us. The average price as well, year to date compared to last year, almost 16% increase in condominiums. And that 16% translates across property types. So I think it's like 14 for single family homes, 15 for duplexes. So it's very high numbers all across the property spectrum.
Yeah, townhouses are up at 19%. So, I mean, townhouses are the next best thing from a house. If people have a pet or they just want more space, townhouses have really gone through the roof. But when you look at these numbers at 15.8%, and we're kind of wondering, why are people, if you're wondering why people are selling, the people that we're coming across that are selling are people like the fellow that Julian just bought off in the West End. These people would have bought this property, all people out there would be holding on to property since 2010 onwards, and they've been paying down their mortgages. And Tim, we sold one in Southwood not long ago. A young lady, she actually, it was her first condo. She's a nurse, Michelle. She actually lived in this condo and then rented it out, and then they live in Aspen, her and her husband. And she's been holding on to this property, and that one went down in value, and like these other properties downtown. And now that they've come back, not to where they've maybe bought them at, but they've come back to a point where the mortgages have been paid down over the years, where they could sell and get out, and it's not going to cost them anything. Yeah. So people are very happy out there to say, hey, look, my mortgage is, $330, the property's worth $350, I could sell it and get out, and then not have that condo anymore. So we're seeing a lot of that happening right now. And those properties, what we're seeing in this market, the market is so hot that condos are selling unconditional. Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's crazy. So one thing we would really tell you to do is have a condition on a condo, and we'll just quickly go over that, because you're buying into a management company, basically.
Yeah, a lot of it is shared property. So
Yeah.
all the common area, all the owners own it.
Yeah, and so you really want to make sure doing the condo review that there is enough reserve fund to cover the upcoming expenses, that what the upcoming expenses are as well. And then secondly, that, where are the condo fees going, and are they manageable? Can it stay at that rate? Because we all know insurance costs went up this year, heating costs went up, so condo fees were bound to go up. Okay, and one thing we want to tell you guys about when you buy brand new, a lot of people fall for this, is that the developers are made to put a certain amount of funds into projects, reserve funds. So the reserve fund is quite healthy when you first start off, meaning that the condo fees are normally lower when you buy a condo that's pre-construction or brand new.
Yes.
They're bound to go up within 3 years. So we want to tell you that as well. But buying a condo without having a condo study done or inspection, condo document inspection, the only way we would do that is if we knew a realtor that had previously sold in there, and we know that there's been multiple sales. So if there's been multiple sales in a building, we know that everything's healthy and that, you know, it's still a risk, but you know what, we always say to do at least the condo inspection, because if something was wrong with your unit, if there was a flood or cracked foundation or anything like that, it would be in normally those condo documents.
Yeah. So there's a question in the chat here. Will the capital gains changes affect the number of houses for sale? Very, very minimally. People who have huge gains in a rental property or a second home or something like that, a cottage, they may want to sell before these capital gains changes come in. But I have a sneaking suspicion that if we get a different government in place in 2025, those capital gains rules will go back to the way they were before. It can be a sizable amount when you go to sell, but the people who have lots and lots of capital, they usually have creative accountants that can lessen their tax burden when that time comes.
Yeah, and Tim and I were just having this conversation. I think the Trudeau government's trying to roll this out pretty quickly. Now, our wealthy clients that we were just discussing about, I mean, 90% of wealthy people own real estate and not real estate to rent out like we do. Like the wealthy people we know, they just have properties here and there and they use them. And so this tax would impact the wealthy for sure. And I don't think this is going away anytime in this conversation. But we want to stress about the capital gains tax. We always hear this, and we do this for our investors, and we work out a plan for them. And there's some properties that we own in our portfolio that we never plan to sell. And if you own these properties and you refinance to take that money out, it's tax-free. So it is the best way to create a second income or more cash flow, or to create a deposit for another property. Tim, that's how we bought most of our properties.
Yeah.
We refinanced the properties over time and then put that tax-free money down on the next. It's actually the best way to leverage yourself into a position to owning multiple properties. And that way you're never selling. So you have to maintain these properties, but you're never selling. And you make sure you're always cash flowing at the same time. So we're never really worried about the capital gains. I mean, the people that we work with that would be more worried about it are the flippers.
Yeah.
They're doing it for a living and they have to pay those taxes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's our real estate market. Normally we get Danielle DeMarco, our real estate investment mortgage broker, to come in and give a little bit of a chat. She's occupied tonight. So, and the Bank of Canada didn't lower the prime rate in the last announcement, which was a week ago. So we don't want Danielle talking anyways, because it didn't help out real estate investors like you guys out there. So if you do need to find out where you are financially to see if you can purchase another property, if you can get another mortgage, or if you need help doing that, reach out to Danielle. She is our go-to person. Her contact info is right there on the page. So just take a screenshot of it. And if you need to talk to a mortgage broker, she's the one to talk to.
Yeah, and that is always your first step when you're looking to invest in real estate, is to work out where you are financially. And then once we know that, we know what we can put you with. As simple as that.